Okay guys, I'm going to show off my Auradin build. It's an Infiltrator, as one would expect. Infiltrators are good for 1,000 reasons. If you build this character, you have to use this transmog. You have to. Look at that style. You got the fire going into ice, because it converts Ignifar into ice. To do it, you gotta have both. Anyways, the reason why I prefer this Auradin build before we do a Steps of Torment run, because it's fucking ridiculous for starters, but you have the extra aura here, Ignifar's Presence. I know it has a short range, but it's fire and lightning damage, and the fire damage is relevant. The stats are just decent on it as well. The Elemental Harmony set is just plain good. The proc is Elemental Force, those two projectiles. We can almost count them as a fourth aura. The reason is that since we have 3 damage auras, every enemy within radius of all 3 gets 3 attacks per second on each of them. So this thing is proccing all the time, and since it orbits around you, it hits everything as well. So it's almost like 4 damaging auras. So then it gets dumber. Mage Slayer set is just really cool. This necklace gives -15 elemental resistance on Veil of Shadow, and then the set completion bonus gives you -15% more fire resistance reduction on Veil of Shadow again. Tons of damage to Flames of Ignifar. I have I have Rumor, I have Elemental Storm. Another thing that's really nice is because you have Aura of Censure and Inquisitor Seal, as Inquisitors tend to, is this build's really hard to kill, especially when I use just 1 Seal of Blades, and it makes it so that your Flames of Ignifar has enough lifesteal to keep you going, again, in any boss fight. This build can tank almost anything. Probably Archmage. I've tanked Koopa Cabra with this build, no problem. I think Archmage Alexander is the only person in the game that makes me nervous, aside from, like, obviously Ravager and Madrigan. This build can't do, but the rest are fine. You get the Circuit Breaker with Blade Barrier. So yeah, good stuff. Anyways, the main point I'm going to be showing off is that, true to my word, this build kills just by walking. A lot of Auradins claim to do this, but they do it either slower, or just not at all. Like, you have to stand still for a long time. Or I saw some guys that use macros and other interactive gameplay. You don't want interactive gameplay. You want a brain dead, walk through the game. You only have to turn your brain on for a split second for hero monsters. I mean, let's get a hero monster up here. So yeah, tank your monsters, you just destroy them. But, I mean, you could honestly just walk through the whole game. It would just take a lot longer. You don't have to use your skills to speed things up. But as you can see, one thing that this Auradin has going for it is it does really good single target damage. I guess a lot of people, this one's probably optional, Ignifar's Presence, because 4 meter radius is so small. But I like it. It ensures that if I really walk up to a monster, it dies that much quicker. And since multiplayer barely adds any HP to monsters, you can go to multiplayer games, and people who pay attention will tell you that this looks like fun to play. They'll be confused at how you're killing things. It's good times. I actually don't play this build that much anymore because I find it incredibly boring. But don't let this dissuade you. The novelty lasts long enough. I've just played it too much, so it's sort of in my retired account. Even these tanky skeletal knights, I don't have to get any skills out. I could. It would kill him faster. But just a leisurely walk. I mean, if you really want, just right-click in a circle. Just hold it down and spin around. Helicopter. Got this guy going. And look how fast Ilgor went down. Most Auradin builds can't do that. And he's down again. That's why this is my favorite Auradin build. I mean, I haven't played them all, so I don't know, but I haven't seen any that look as good. Sometimes you don't care about the Crucible. I don't know if this is Crucible worthy. With all the buffs and banners, if you pilot carefully, you probably could. Kill the reflective hero before it could even activate its aura. Or buff, whatever it is. Its reflection power. We're gonna make this video a little shorter by skipping the rest of the dungeon. So you can't just walk straight through, because sometimes one tick isn't enough. But just a little zigzagging, and you're done. And also, since trash mobs don't offer you anything, you actually can ignore most of this stuff. You just kind of have to serpentine motion this shit, just to give you an extra tick or two on every enemy, and it does its job. It's the smoothest Auradin experience I know, and I love it. Alchemos has cold resist, and he still gets fucked. That's about it. If you don't like this build, you're stupid.